Van Australië af terug huis toe op 'n onverwagse pad. Daar staan 'n besoeker uit Ierland hier in Suid-Afrika wat die 7de geslag in haar familie is met bonatuurlike kragte. Deur die geslagte heen was daar sieners en genesers, soos wat sy ook is.
Well, this Irish visitor to our shores tells of playing with spirit children at the age of 2 and 3 and being aware of her healing powers when she was 11. She even feels the pain of the person she is healing.
Wie is hierdie vrou? Ons het gaan kennis maak. 2 weeks ago, few South Africans had ever heard her name. 24 hours later, she had jammed all the telephone lines at Radio 702. The Braamfontein Hotel was refusing to put any more calls through to her room, and another contact number was engaged throughout the night. Television producers all over the country were sitting up. It seemed that the name Mary Malone was on everyone's lips.
The lines were jam-packed, not alone the lines coming through to the show, the lines in the newsroom, the lines on the switchboard, the lines on the 702 helpline, the lines on the 702 crisis centre. Anything to do with 702 was absolutely jammed. It was unbelievable.
It was talk show host John Robbie who introduced Mary Malone to the public. Using her apparent healing and visionary powers over the air, she captivated thousands of South Africans. Even skeptic John Robbie himself volunteered to be healed during the interview.
Now, I've got a stiff neck.
Right.
Okay? I've got a stiff neck, which is an old injury and so on. Can you help me there?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
How would you do that?
Yeah. Well, I'll put my hands over you. Can I do that with
you?
You
can indeed. All right. What's happening now is Mary is standing behind me, and she's warmed up her hands and she's saying a prayer. Can't believe I'm doing this.
John talked his listeners through what must surely have been some of 702's most exciting and extraordinary radio. And what happened?
To my amazement, because I didn't expect to feel anything, I did feel some form of heat on the back of my neck. And the people who came in the studio, because by now people had crowded around and everyone in the station wanted to see what was going on, and they swore that my neck had gone red. Now, I've been claiming for years I'm a redneck, but they said, no, there actually was some form of treatment. But then the next day, when some guy phoned up and said, look, if you take your hand and hold it close to your skin, that you'll actually feel some heat. And you do. I can feel it now. So I haven't made my mind up.
And afterwards, is your neck cured?
No, my neck's worse. My neck is definitely worse. But I think that's because the last 2 days, people keep asking me how my neck is, and I keep going, well, actually, no. And I think that's maybe made it a wee bit worse.
And he really loves you, you know. I can see how he's full of love, that child. And
just who is Mary Malone? Crank? Clever businesswoman? Or is she for real? Who is this woman who draws thousands of followers around the world? Thousands who testify to her remarkable healing and psychic powers, from drug addicts to depressed housewives and cancer victims.
She picked up the hurt and she picked up the suffering and she picked up... No, it's definitely, you know exactly what she's talking about. It wasn't a facade.
As God's crusader, Mary has given up all material possessions to travel the world and share her powers. Her talents seem extraordinary, and yet the woman we met was very ordinary, very simple, and she has a lovely Irish wit.
Well, thank God I love people. It wasn't hard for me to give up anything at all, because the material things of life, what are they when you look at them? You know, I'm blessed with a great marriage and a wonderful husband, and I love God. That's it. And as long as the sky doesn't fall on me, away I go.
We spoke to John Robbie a day or two after you'd been with him, and he said that his neck was not better, but in fact worse.
Right. Now, that might happen as well, which I should have mentioned. Sometimes they might have to come back 2 or 3 times to me for the healing. I don't know why that has to happen. It was a very short thing that I'd done with them, so I may have woken up whatever was causing the stiffness to the neck. I cannot promise anybody anything in the line of being healed. We see hundreds and hundreds of people being healed, but it is through the Holy Spirit, not through Mary Malone.
It all started 9 years ago when Mary convinced husband Malcolm Vickers to sell their home and business. Since then, they've lived out of suitcases in hotel rooms and joined the Million Mile Club of British Airways. They simply go wherever Mary's calling may take them. Malcolm, you said that there was something that clinched it for you.
My wife, for years, had been ill with every kind of imaginable illness, pleurisy, hysterectomy, all kinds of lung ailments, and other things as well. But the most important was migraine headaches. And the minute I said yes, it was a release. She never touched wood now, you know, she never has had an headache since, or a day's illness.
It was Malcolm who decided to run Mary's gift as a business. Many people lift their eyebrows when they see you charging an entrance fee like at the psychic evening, or 125 Rand for a half-an-hour consultation.
Well, we don't have a ministry behind us. We are one-man band, so to speak, you know. People think because Mary's got a gift, albeit from God, that it hasn't to be paid for, you know. Well, one of these tickets, this is a section of one of these tickets. Now, this is a 15-month section of our tickets, you see, if you can get them in your camera. And each one of these, there's 4 or 5 international destinations on each one of these tickets. The equivalent price of these particular tickets was the same as buying a brand new Datsun car.
Mary's critics hone in on this money issue, yet Malcolm made it clear to us that they don't charge for the healing evenings, only for the visionary readings. Mary is a devout Catholic who never misses Sunday Mass. She calls on the Holy Spirit and heals in the name of Christ.